Just kidding. Good thing we don't have the clapper hooked up.
Hey, welcome to episode 25 of What Are You Drinking Now? Here at the office.
We made it.
We made it. We're 25. We're like a quarter of a century old.
Yeah, halfway to 50.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things you learn in your first half year.
Yeah.
Let's hope we've learned them.
Oh, yeah.
Nick
To all the
changed his
concern-
opening. He didn't pop a can this time. I'm kind of disappointed. He just wasn't feeling it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to get down to brass tacks and really let people know we're thinking about them, and we're also thinking about ourselves and doing it right. And I'm doing it right with a 75-minute dogfish head. This is a really cool palate cleanser, A, because I like nice, dry tasting India Pales. But this, what's unique is they actually used maple sugar, maple in this. And so it's not sweet like maple, but it has that backbone in the way the sugars are broken down. The way that a honey ale would have honey and the maple. It's pretty good without tasting like a maple leaf. I dig it. The generous hopping though really keeps it nice.
I think Josh and I picked the same beer as palate cleanser. We're both drinking the Praga.
Praga, absolutely. I had it a few weeks back. I love this stuff. It's
It
good.
tastes amazingly like a Budweiser,
But good.
but good.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely.
A Budenweiser.
Not
That's
a
like,
huge.
it's like what Grandpa's always talking
Not
about.
trying to make a big knock against
I was in the war.
a big-
you know, I
big
only
old-
had one beer.
big retail company. Or big,
Budenweiser, you push
Beer
never heard of
company.
it.
Well, New Belgium
Anyway.
sold out. Since the
I
last time we
heard,
did it.
yes.
To Australia.
Kieran, who owns the Australian conglomerate, who owns, it's all a big mess. But it looks like they took care of their employees in the sellout, so that's good.
Well, those employees who managed to hold on to their stock options.
Because
So that's
New
something
Belgium
out
was an
there.
employee-owned company.
I
so-
mean, you build a brewery, you're employee-owned, and listen carefully, Wilmington breweries, Asheville breweries, because it's on the move in Wilmington, and this affects Asheville brewery scene. We forget, but that's one of the
New Belgium
breweries
has one of
that
their breweries.
did a West Coast style brewery in the Appalachian Mountains. So we'll see how those changes affect the North Carolina beer market. I imagine it's going to be business as usual with those guys.
That's what the article seemed to hint at. So we shall see. How about we move on to some?
I would
beer?
like to hear though, anybody who has an experience with employee-owned brewery, tell us about your experience when the buyout happens. Do you make money? Do you just lose the beer? What happens? You know, we all want to know.
All right. Well, speaking of beer, let's move on to some beer. Try some there.
Yeah, we got a brown
So-
bag of goodies. Show them the brown bag of goodies,
We
Joe.
got a brown bag of goodies.
I know 2 of the 3 things that are in there. We're only drinking 2 of the 3.
Yeah, it's a little surprise round. We had to keep Rob on his toes. He's been peeking in before
All right,
Christmas.
which one do we want to start with?
All right.
He's like shaking boxes.
Oh, I almost picked this for my palate cleanser.
So I think we should start with Josh's choice.
Okay.
I actually had that last night. It was pretty good. I don't know if you've had it yet.
Boom, boom.
It sounded cool. I stopped it the other day, so.
Let me see some
Yeah.
glasses.
Okay. Next class. So we're doing the. And I'm eager to try this one too, because this is not our normal style of beer that we drink in this out of the shop. Not by choice necessarily, but it's just we don't get a lot of options to pick a Doppelbock up.
Oh yeah, no, Doppelbocks are delicious, man. I love these styles.
So we're gonna get a little lesson here because between Nick and Josh, they should be able to fill us in on what a Doppelbock style is and what it how
So
it's brewed.
doppel is double.
Yep.
So let's take the doppel part right out, and let's get down to, well, double what, right? Bock. Well, good news, Bock means beer.
Mm-hmm.
But it means a certain type of beer.
Oh, absolutely.
And it refers to maybe a certain way of brewing
From Einbeck.
that's from a specific town. So it's from Einbach, and that's why it's called Bock. It gets that name.
Oh, yeah.
Einbach is a traditional lagering type region from German. So it's going to be your traditional styles. But what Einbach was particularly known for was having really strong beers, especially the Doppelbock.
Mm-hmm.
Einbach, Bach, and Doppelbock, a double Einbach. And they were also known for being willing to drift from the Reinheitsgebot. So they were one of the first styles of beer that got recognized outside of beer being made with barley and used all grains, but still had it recognized as German beer.
Now this is gonna
Which
be.
is where we get into the Bock.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be all malt right here. Another funny little trivia. There's a confusion between the German word for goat, which kind of sounds like Bock.
Yeah.
So almost every Doppelbock or Bock that you find that's from Germany, or even a lot of the American ones, has some form of goat on the can.
Which this is Anarchy Doppelbock from Fortnite Brewing Company out of Cary, North Carolina. It is a 7.5% ABV, comes in 16 ounce. We have it at $4 a can. I don't see a goat on the.
I saw a double goat once in Peru. It was like a Siamese twin. It had 2 heads.
That's weird.
They were like fused together. It had 2 bodies, 8 legs, 2 heads, 1 neck.
Goats are
so
already.
It died
So-
small.
So it had 2 goat heads where this has none. So no goat heads on here.
Just some
But,
punk rockers. It
I mean,
looks like rancid.
There's been some.
Oh yeah.
What is the
Wow,
AB
floral.
InBev that they do?
You guys get some beautiful
Which one?
florals.
Huh? What's the AB InBev Bach that they do?
There's a few
I
of
mean,
them.
I'm not gonna knock it. It has a goat on it. I can remember that one.
This is somewhere
I
just
know
short
what
of
you're talking
barley
about. I
wine.
can't
This
remember
is
off the top of my head.
Wow. So that is
smooth.
smooth, completely different from anything I was expecting.
They do say it's a blonde Doppelbock. This does not look like most blonde beers. This looks pretty
It's
copper to me.
I agree with you. Floral notes.
The floral nose is really nice. I'm really curious to know if they actually lagered this because there's something interesting written on this can. Anarchy Doppelbock Ale. Oh, it does say ale. Doppelbock Ale. Okay,
So it's a Doppelbock style ale.
that's very interesting.
That's probably where I'm getting the fruit.
It says a blonde Doppelbock just in time for Oktoberfest. Prost. So we may be getting these outside of their home market a little bit later.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And which is weird. And I know that this was supposed to come out in September. They had a delay in shipping. I think if I remember the story correctly, they had a bad batch and they had to go remake it.
Okay,
So that's why we're getting it now.
this is not bad.
No, it's super malty. There's no hops in this whatsoever.
For 7.5, I'm really blown away how much fresh malt I'm left with. The hops, I think we're dealing with, it's not like any dry hop sense. The hops have really been dissolved and worked on in here, so we're down to the esters, those floral tones.
When I got the nose on this, I immediately thought I was maybe smelling wine on the first
Well,
hit.
so I almost felt like a barley
I was
wine
gonna say, did
type
you say
feel.
barley wine?
And it doesn't hold the bubble once we pop it, so, well, it's got a little bit of fuzz there, so that's pretty good.
I have to say it's pretty solid. I can tell it's not a traditional Doppelbock because Bocks for a long period of time were one of my favorite styles of beer. Used to go to K3 Wine Beer and they had Bockfest.
So
They just
one-
took all the taps off, put nothing but Bocks and Doppelbocks and Ice Bocks and Stein Bocks, and then somebody pulled out a hot knife and started sticking it in the box.
But Bach has also come to me as far as German
I
beer.
know, I'm nursing one right
It's
now.
like a different word
5.8.
for
5.8 out of 7.3.
lagering. And so maybe it has to do with the style that they did in Eisenbach, and I could look more into the geography to find this out. Maybe they didn't necessarily cave lager. Maybe they had some other way of bocking these beers, storing them. Because sometimes Bach does come to me like a stored beer, held back. And it might be in the German too, just the German pronunciation.
So
Inflection could give you different meanings on the word.
So this to me, I'm so used to us drinking hoppy beers. Even beers that aren't IPAs have hops to them.
These have hops, it's just
But
done
I'm
different.
just not tasting
Yeah.
it at all. It is there. This is so smooth. I mean, there's no bitterness to it for me at all.
I catch the floral tones of hops, and I catch like the tannins, the acids of the hops. But as far as leafy dry hop, nothing like that.
And the other thing too.
This is totally dissolved, totally part of the beer.
And the other thing too, it's very. You know how you get like the, I don't know, the bubbles on the, there's very little in the mouthfeel on that.
It's not very effervescent. It's just smooth.
And that might have been, I'm just going to throw this out there. They said they had a batch that didn't really take. And that may have been part of the struggle with this beer is, I don't know how their fermentation is going, but like, are they holding it so long where they're like starting to lose carbonation? And if they recarb, does it affect the taste?
I'll tell you right now, though, if I was listening to punk rock or at a punk rock show, I would not be drinking this. Too heavy.
I would not. I would get my head stomped in the second set.
Dude, this is heavy beer for a show, man.
First guy that kicked me in the shins would knock me over. No ranch on both.
I'm gonna say it's a decent beer. I don't think it's one of my favorites that we've had. I'm not knocking it. I don't think it's a bad beer. But it is so different. I do like the fact that it's so different.
I want to keen in on that moment there when you're talking about something different. So we do like a lot of heady ales here. Rob and Josh and I could easily get into some nice stouts.
Oh, yeah.
We have a nice dry stout on tap right now. Worth reviewing. We've been doing bottled product for y'all, so you catch up with our bottle list. But the Moylan's on tap. It's a dry Irish stout. And I've always loved dry Irish stout for this, that in between a couple nice ales, a nice Irish stout just really settles your stomach. It's a little lower booze content, but just breaks up the pattern of what you're drinking. And you could honestly just like drink Irish stouts all night. But what I'm saying about the Doppelbock is throw this in your 6-pack. It's really going to shake up your bitter beverages. It's not sweet. But it could kind of work you in between the stouts and the heavy ales.
Well, saying that, this was your pick, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
The second pick you have in there, both of those were yours?
Yeah.
Do you think we could do the second versus your first one?
Oh yeah, the first one was
I think this is that would be kind of a nice little.
Yeah, actually, I completely. As soon as I saw, so funny story. Josh and I both picked the same beer. both Josh and I elected Anarchy this week, which. There's probably a story there, but you guys are going to have to wait to hear the song and the story. That way VH1 can give us amnesty on that one.
So this is the one I was asking Nick if we
This is what I want to taste. I stocked this on the shelf this week.
What?
I thought this would be really cool to taste. It's far outside my typical style, and it's got hazelnut in it, I believe. So I wouldn't drink a whole can of this, but sharing with you guys, I want to try it.
So this is the Catawba Brewing Honeycombed Honey Nut Breakfast Stout. I'm going to tell you, I had one of these last night. I think as far as the name goes, I could have one of these for breakfast. So we're getting ready to get into it.
Packaging's on point.
Yeah,
look how
I really
cool
like
that
the
bee guy looks.
I love
Yeah.
Can we show him the bee guy?
Yeah, that's
He's somewhere between like the Honey Nut Cheerio Man and like Ant-Man.
Yeah, some teenage
like
50s.
He's almost like Japanime stuff.
So
that is not like Kafka's Metamorphosis.
No.
Like that is far beyond.
So yeah, this is what I see 6.2.
So it's a sturdy stout, can we say? Mm-hmm. It's not a strong. It's a sturdy stout. Well, look at that color.
Yeah, it's dark. 6.2, 275, a 12-ounce can. It does have the motor oil.
And as you're pouring this, I'm reminded. I love stout. I really do. Everyone thinks, Nick's
this one.
Nick's this
both sides
crazy ale fan. Which number one, I would like to remind you, stout, for the most part, stout is an ale.
Yeah.
It's just one of the types of ales.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, they are going at the honey nut breakfast stout. So yeah, Nick popped on it. They're going like the honey nut Cheerios thing.
That bee is cool.
Sweet nutty roasted is what they've got around the top of the can.
I think Rob just finally
so
got
is that
early 90s
is
reference.
That the emo Cheerios guy?
It could be. Like I said, I think it's more of a combination of that and like a a 50s.
Yeah, he looks like he just got off his 1952 Vincent and ride.
Like you,
Wow.
like you
I mean,
right out of
nutty.
Happy Days.
It is nutty. Do you guys remember
Definitely
that,
nutty on the nose.
the nut brown?
Yep.
The tatties. Yeah, all those Tatacaster fans out there, they're gonna love this. It is nutty. This is like beyond just Newcastle nutty.
Yeah, that's a nutty beer. It's tasty, but it's nutty.
The nuttiness goes right in.
Big roast.
You know,
big roasted nuts.
We talk about wine.
Big roasted nuts.
It's, you guys know what Rob wants for Christmas.
Hey, watch it.
Hey.
So many nuts.
So many nuts. No, this is a dark roast. It almost has like some coffee in there.
Coffee like feel, toffee tones in the malt. The hazelnut. You know, we talk about wines having that nose that invites you in and tells you when it's trying to enjoy that. This is much the same way. I felt like nutty, and then all of a sudden it was just inviting me in. And hazelnut has that cream, the Nutella style, that hazelnut coffee, that like really soft touch.
This has got a lot of smoke to it. I could easily see not refrigerating this and having it with bacon and eggs.
This is in the breakfast stout territory.
This is a breakfast stout. I mean, this is right there. And to me, a breakfast stout should not be cold. If you're gonna do it,
it could be like either I left it out or like there's got to be a reason why you didn't drink it last night. And I think that Rob gets it. Might not be. It may be chilled or only slightly, but.
I think, like I said, I had this last night and I was really happy with it. I think the next time I'm going to grab one, I'm going to leave it out and see what the difference is. Because as we know, chilling anything mutes the flavors.
This would be a really good one.
And, if we're going old world style, you're probably going to find it warm.
Or going on vacation in the mountains.
European regions of the world.
When I went to Lake Fontana, I stayed in a hotel without a fridge. Really makes it hard to purchase beer for the hotel.
You were supposed to have your cooler with you, son, in the back of your pickup truck.
I missed that memo.
So, like I said, to me, big roast.
I really like this a lot. The flavor profile is there. It's a little bit sweet, but not cloying.
Yeah, definitely not cloying. There's
I was nervous
that's a 5.2 out of 6.7.
6, but you almost threw up on the camera. That was like a straight up 6.
Yeah, I mean that was a good one.
What I was getting to is the hazelnut flavor is not overwhelming in the stout. The stout itself really comes through, and it's just a feature of the flavor. So this is not a hazelnut beer. This is truly a honey nut oat stout.
Yeah, and I think it's very well-rounded beer.
The body on it feels great. These guys are burping and laughing, but it feels good. I don't feel like some burning stout. I don't feel that cloying on the palate like Josh is talking about.
There's definitely a little sweetness there, but like both of you said, it's not overly cloyingly sweet.
It's not like I'm drinking like a creme brulee or something that just hangs out for
Like the
we won't rip the beer in the episode we drink it. It'll take us about 2 episodes. Poor creme brulee.
Creme brulee is good stuff, man. But I see this. You can drink more than one.
I was just ready to say I could have 2 or 3.
Yeah, I'd like to bring that up. Actually, so Josh mentions the creme brulee. We had that a couple weeks back, and that was a beer styled to taste like an item. And I said this is one of the most drinkable dessert beers I've ever had. This beer,
but like a dessert, you're not eating
wasn't
whole pie.
designed to taste like a bowl of cereal. I think they were like, oh my god, this could taste like Honey Nut Cheerios or something, And so they worked with something that was showing up already.
Could you use this instead of milk on Honey Nut Cheerios?
What they say. If you're pouring beer in your cereal, you should probably just pour a beer.
That's solid. I can't hate that wisdom.
Look, I had a bowl of oatmeal stare me down and won.
Stare you down.
Oh,
in
my.
one.
John Prime.
Yeah.
All right.
We didn't say that.
So we'll
Is
move
that
on to the
copyrighted?
probably. We'll move on to the next one. We're gonna do our wine now. So we did. You're gonna recognize this
For
label.
the comments, we're gonna ask, where did Nick chase the rainbow?
So you're gonna recognize this label. We're not doing the same wine again. Same bottle, same label. This is the Tadmer Riesling. A couple weeks back we did the Tadmer Gruner Veltliner. This is the Tadmer Riesling, the 2017 from California. I pulled this week because what do we have Thursday, guys? We have Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving is a notoriously good day to drink Riesling.
Hey, while Rob pours this, I wanted to mention there was an interesting Thanksgiving-inspired beer I tried this weekend that we still have a few of, the Pilgrimage.
Oh yeah.
You guys know I know I've been blowing wind up Gizmo's skirt. You think they got? I bet Gizmo wears.
I think you're trying to get some freebies out of them. I don't know.
Well, this saison, everybody kept selling me, dude, there's no cranberry in there. I don't know why they say cranberry. The cranberry, I don't think they actually used, there may be a little bit of cranberry actually used.
I didn't say there's no cranberry. I said there wasn't as much as I was expecting.
What I literally got is, you know how when you taste like Kolsch and saison, and on the back end of the esters, these like metallic profiles show out? Instead of getting like the zinc bronze profile of the saison, it's cranberry, but it's like cranberry skins that are left in the
That's
cranberry
exactly what I
jam.
was about to say. It tastes like cranberry skins. It's what?
3-7.
Not this one.
Yeah,
737.
3.7 out of 4.8.
yeah, that was my thing on the Pilgrimage. I think it'd be cool to have one at Thanksgiving.
Granwithal. Where in the U.S. do you guys located? Oh yeah, North Carolina, coast of North Carolina.
Down in the Pocosin region, the pine swamps.
He don't really speak it, but
I
he
don't
know
really talk like that.
it. You can't get there from here, but we
So-
know it.
We're about 30 minutes south of Wilmington, 45 minutes north of Myrtle Beach, on the coast. So this is the Tadmer 2017 California
I
Riesling.
know we got a good bottle because I'm instantly brought back to our tasting. I did have the chance to taste this once before when the distributor came.
It's just
Beautiful
right.
place. North Topsail or Topsail?
And you have a Buckeye grad
I'm about to get in
student,
trouble.
and my
Am I getting
family's
stalked?
attached to OSU as well. North Topsail, yeah, it's right down the road from us. Little bit north of us, just north of Myrtle Beach. I mean, excuse me, just north of Wilmington.
North
What is
Topsail
your
probably about
dad, an old Lima company guy or something?
hour and a half from us with traffic.
So this is not a dry Riesling.
Yes,
Or
well
Topsail.
said.
Oh, Topsail, yeah. Yep. So this is not a dry Riesling at all. However, it's not it's in the middle of the sweetness spectrum.
Oh boy,
Um,
what time's the turkey?
that's right. And this is I pulled this specifically because this is a good.
Anybody
Thanksgiving
frying
turkey
the turkey outside in the garage? Bruce, looking at you here.
Garage.
Bruce, did you find it? Did you find your turkey
We
fire,
have to
Bruce?
tell you that story, Chris.
Oh my God!
Oh my
gosh,
God,
you
it's
got
hilarious.
this. Anyway, this
Wow,
would be a
it's
good
a
one to
crazy
stand
story.
around in between beers, you know. Oh, the ladies are gonna come out, guys, pull it together. Well, this is the one you pop open to get people appetized for turkey.
So
Let's try a little. Okay, see if it's done. Yeah.
if the turkey's going to be dry, drink a little sweet Riesling. If the turkey's going to be nice and juicy, go for your Pinot Noir or your Tempranillo or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
This is your dry turkey Riesling right here. Don't you think?
This is for your aunt that wishes that she can cook.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is got some. Is this a bad wine for you, Nick?
No, I think it's great. I was
I didn't
paying
know.
attention. I knew this was happening.
Oh.
I'll take care of this. No spirits in North Carolina. Spirits are sold at the ABC store. I know that Ohio has the package store, which can be private or whatever. It's just not open on Sunday. Yeah, our liquor isn't on Sunday. However, we can pop our booze after 10 on Sundays. It's kind of
These
a
guys
fun
definitely
spot.
have beer though.
Yeah, beer, wine, coffee.
Yeah.
To sell liquor, we need to be more of a restaurant or a private club.
If the numbers and
No
demand
say.
come up, we will get some port, and basically the port license would give us access to some cordials and things like that.
I'll tell you what,
that's
this,
something we're looking into.
This is a really good reason.
So I dig it. It's
thoroughly
very
enjoyed
pleasant.
It's got. I'm going to say it's got a very muted nose.
Yeah,
There's not a lot of
so that's good for
aromatics coming
company.
out.
It's
That's-
really not.
it's good for turkey. That's good for company. That's good for the holidays. Let the food do the talk, and let the wine just be something in between that just makes these. You know, if the dinner is this big statement, the wine is like these subtle like exclamation points.
Yeah, the wine for dinner should be the last sauce to go on the dish. So this is, you know,
I don't want to call it soapy, but I'm lacking a better term for just what quite is on the nose, and I think it's something verging on
man.
floral.
It's lavender.
Yeah, so it's a very specific tone.
ooh.
Yeah, I was feeling it somewhere between like cilantro and lavender. Yeah, herbal verging on floral, like field floral.
Yeah, like I said, I'm getting very muted nose. I think you guys are hitting right on with the either lavender or cilantro.
This
or
has a
soapiness
softness to it, which I don't think it's barrel aged, but it has. There's just a certain softness to this palate
So,
that. Is,
One thing Tatterer does, this is the same winery that did the Gruner Veltliner. He's
Mhm.
a German-born winemaker who came to the U.S. and started planting Gruner in this region that he thought would be good for it. Well, we all tasted the Gruner a few weeks ago and really liked it. It was top-notch.
Oh yeah.
The Riesling, I think, is very good as well. I don't think it's as good of quality. Well, I'm not going to say as good quality.
you know
I
what?
think it's a different level than what the Gruner is. I
Watch
think
this.
you want it.
I want you to eat it. Normally, potato chips should just screw up a wine. And this is really cool here. It should just screw it up. It should just ruin their palates. It's really salty. It's got these oils and these fats. And these guys are gonna be like, yeah, what else are we eating and drinking?
That's,
Because it doesn't screw it
That's
up at
not
all.
the worst.
So
junk
just
food
The
pairing.
salt is definitely
it
bringing out.
doesn't it like brings the flavor out. It doesn't change the flavor.
No, but
Like-
it does get like super buttery, creamy,
Yeah.
just from the starch of the potato.
Which I have a feeling that was kind of what I was picking up on with the
Now,
softness.
which means that this is going to
This will do well with food.
You're
Both dark
telling
and
me-
light
you're
meat with
telling me I could
gravy.
crack
your
open a bag
potatoes
of
and
chips.
your turkey gravy and your stuffing. And
Rip open a bag of chips, crack open a bottle of wine, and watch Rick and Morty all night.
You could just do that.
hipster
Yeah.
asshole.
Yeah.
Why-
If that's the case, for your hipster poutine, I recommend Heinz gravy.
Heinz gravy.
Yeah, just get some blue cheese and like a little gorgonzola, Heinz gravy, and a bag of Ruffles, and it's hipster poutine.
I do love poutine.
You are a hipster.
No, I'm too fat nowadays.
Well, yeah. I mean, other than being fat, you're.
When I was
Yeah,
skinny,
you
I
gonna
was
try the
definitely
hipster poutine?
So I'm gonna say this is. I mean, this wine will go well. I think with
It's
Um,
snappy. It's
with your
good.
Thanksgiving
Yeah,
dinner.
that's absolutely delicious. For
Um,
like an easy
There is
drink.
something else in the bag I wanted Josh to pull out and just.
We're not gonna
Oh.
review it this tonight.
We're not going to do a review.
No.
We just need to show you guys it's here.
We'll show you. It's here. It's a decent little beer.
So this is the
one of our customers
hazy
thought that,
purple.
That Nick's
I
review
wish I
of
had
it made him high. Which it is Nick. So, but he said there was a lot of particulates in that, and she didn't see any of them. So.
I guess it's working.
All right. So
You know, back to the 75 minute, I tasted all these things, and the 75 minute just is friendly, recognizable, great place to land back to. I enjoy the wine, the Taddemer. I feel like this is a wine I don't have to stop drinking beer when somebody hands me a glass of this. I can go right back to what I was doing, be it a cocktail, old fashions, whatever I'm drinking on in the garage. When the ladies come out to check on the fried turkey, I'm telling you, this is the one.
You have your beer too while everything's getting prepped. You sit down at the table, everybody gets poured a glass of wine, and then after dinner you go back to the or you go to the honeycomb for the pumpkin pie, and then back to the.
No, I had some old German friends who told me that this was part of the real meaning of German wine. They say, why would the Germans make wine when the French make it better? Because there's something you have to drink while you open the beer.
Makes sense.
That's
all right.
amazing.
So on that note, we're going to go back and go back through the beers and wines. So we had the Anarchy from Fortnite Brewing, Cary, North Carolina, 16-ounce can, $4 can. Nick, what was your take on it? It was a Doppelbock, by the way. So.
I have two hands. I'm not going to Bob Dole you. I'm just going to use one of them. I'm going to give him a thumbs up. Good job with the Doppelbock. I want to see it again. I want to see you develop this flavor more. Some of those malts were left a little open-ended. I'd like to see some more development there. And hey, who knows? You do that, you push up to an 8.3 on your Doppelbock instead of a 7.5, and you leave me with like a dry burnt oatmeal taste. Calling that thing a blonde Doppelbock is pretty gutsy. I'm just gonna like throw that out there. So maybe even drop the whole thing about Oktoberfest and all that, and just work on putting that Doppelbock in that lineup, because I'd like to have it in my 6-pack next to my other ales. Also, if you guys are doing something aging with it, tell us about it on the can instead of telling us what time of year you wish you got this out in.
So, follow up on Nick. I'm going to give it a 1 as well. Again, don't think that 1's bad. I mean, we'll give stuff a thumbs down or a half thumbs.
It's happened.
But I'm going to give this one. I think it's just different enough to be because it's not a widely produced style in the area. So when it does come out, it's just different enough to be like, hey, I can have 1 or 2 of those just to wet my whistle. I did like the nose on it. It was very, what do we say, wineish, barley wineish. It did come across a little flat to me.
Go on.
It did come across a little flat to me, but I did like the beer overall. So 1 thumb for. So 1 thumb for me.
You can't blame this stuff on our folks.
Alright, so I guess I'm gonna be the bad guy. I'm gonna give it a nub.
Ooh.
Oh,
Like,
no.
it's a half a thumb up.
We were working our way there. It happened.
I have a deep-seated love and passion for Doppelbocks and the style. I don't think it's a Doppelbock. It was close to tasting like one. Doppelbocks aren't ales. I could tell it was an ale, not a lager. But it was a really noble effort to try, and I think if they lagered it, it'd probably get at least a thumbs up, if not a thumb and a half.
Yeah.
I just think it was a cool idea that was poorly executed.
Yeah.
But I would drink it. If you put it in front of me, I would drink it. It's just not my favorite.
I'd like to see it lagered.
I think I would too. And maybe because they had the problem with the first batch, they couldn't lager it. I mean, obviously.
Or maybe they relabeled their barley wine.
Yeah.
So moving on, the honeycombed honey nut breakfast stout from Catawba Brewery. Nick.
The honey, get one. Check it out. It's pretty good. If you at all like breakfast cereal flavors and you like beer and you were thinking about having a beer instead of breakfast, come on down. We've got some cold and drink it.
Thumb?
You want some Thumb City on this one. You know, let's just stick to one hand right now. I'm gonna give it the thumbs up. I'd like to do a side-by-side perhaps with the Moylan's Irish Stout and maybe do a taste-off with these.
Okay. I think that those are 2 different entirely different types of stouts. Just because this is a breakfast stout, that's different times of the day. I really think this stout, you drink it, it's a breakfast stout. It's gonna sound funny, but keep it, warm or just slightly chilled. Crack it open while you're cooking your bacon and eggs. I tell you, this is gonna go with the bacon. This has got the smokiness and the, it's gonna go with the bacon. Anyway, hey, if you're gonna do breakfast for dinner, there you go. Then you don't have to feel guilty about drinking beer for breakfast. I'm gonna give it a thumb and a half. I did like it a lot more. I can see it's going to be in my 6-pack for a few weeks just because I like it. So, Josh?
I'm gonna go out and say I kind of agree with you on this one, Rob. I'm gonna give it a thumb and a half. Just because it's really cool. The hazelnut flavor is pronounced but not overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that it's sweet but not cloying.
Mm-hmm.
Really, what sells me on this is the fact that it's the finish. And the fact that it finishes like a cup of coffee in the morning, like a black cup of coffee. It doesn't sit, it's just like, it's crisp and refreshing. I love that. I like the body. I mean, it's a really solid beer. It's not my favorite breakfast stout I've ever had, but I really enjoy it.
There are a lot of really spectacular breakfast stouts out there.
And there are a lot of really not spectacular ones.
There are.
And this is not one of the not spectaculars. It's really good.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so then moving on to the wine, the Tatimer 2017 Riesling. I don't think we covered this earlier. It's $19 a bottle. Little for us, it's one of the mid-range ones. But Nick,
Let's see about the $19 a bottle. Sorry about that, boss.
oh, I wasn't even bringing that up.
I did.
I wasn't. Don't. That's a different story. Doesn't
Price
matter.
check.
Doesn't matter.
Gruner Veltliner. Listen, we tasted a fabulous Gruner Veltliner from these guys, and we told you, look, this thing's incredible. You got to try this great. This winery, we think we're doing something special. They hit the mark with this dry Riesling. Dry Riesling does not equal dry wine, and I think what will be amazing is when you put this on the table and you're entertaining your guests, and they have no idea why you're pouring California German style wine with like this weird English name. And then they're gonna taste it and they're gonna ask for a second plate of turkey. And you're gonna get to finish the bottle of wine and you're gonna know why it's so good. Because it made your turkey edible.
Made your turkey edible.
Good God.
So, thumb scale?
Tatimer, making turkey edible 1 thumb ago.
1 thumb? Alright. So Nick's a straight 1 thumber tonight. I'm gonna hit that Tatimer. I think
Gonna hit that Tatimer.
I think I'm more than likely going to take this wine to Thanksgiving dinner this year versus a red. We are doing a drier turkey, and the reason is because I got one of those turkeys. Dad and I don't. We eat it, but we don't really care for the dark meat. So we got a breast only. So the turkey's going to be a little drier than normal.
Breast man.
Okay, but the turkey's gonna be a little drier just because it doesn't have the dark meat to the fat from it to, I'm gonna have to, punch it up with some butter and stuff.
I love that.
If there are some souls giving sides you want Rob to enjoy with his dry turkey, please bring them down to the office on Thanksgiving Day between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you, as far as sides, I've got them covered. I can do a full Thanksgiving traditional meal, so I'm not worried about that. Anyway, I'm going to take this. I'm going to give this a thumbs up. I really want to give it a thumb and a half just because I do like it, but I think I like it as a specific wine for a specific meal. I'm not going to go out and have this wine every day. I will have this wine for Thanksgiving dinner. So there you have on that. So I'm giving it a thumbs up.
I would totally give this a thumb and a half if it wasn't for the price point. So it's a thumb for me. I think it's a little overpriced for what it is.
Okay, fair enough.
$19, I could buy a Mosel.
You're right.
which is like my favorite kind of Riesling ever.
Now, could you buy a
really nice one, no.
quality $19 Mosel?
But what I could buy from the Mosel for this price, I mean, I could probably find one I liked better than this.
Okay.
You know, but that's just my personal taste. I think it's a very well executed Riesling, like you. Like I think it's got some very specific things and times and places where it'd be awesome. I want to have it with cranberries because for some reason it just makes me like think the cranberry sauce, especially if you made it from scratch with like the orange zest and like the fresh berries, just go pop as they like crush in the pan. You know, I think that'd be delicious.
That I didn't even think about a homemade cranberry sauce. I agree with you. I think that it would go well with that.
Okay.
So we were a little harder than normal on our choices tonight. I think the honeycomb breakfast stout fared the best. Beyond that, you guys have a good Thanksgiving. We'll see you next week. And this was episode 25 of What Are You Drinking Now?
Oh, yeah.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Have a good one, guys.
That goes for you too, YouTubers.